So today's episode, we are going to talk about what to do when you have fear, right? How to take that very next step and grow. But before I jump in today's show, if you are looking to do your first deal or next deal and you have not been to our website, head on over to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script. And there I have an awesome gift for you. If you ever wondered, hey, how do I talk to a seller? What do I say? What are the questions? Do I ask? Well, now you're going to know. I'm going to give you the exact script that my team has used to lock up over 1,300 deals, and the very same script that some of the best real estate investors across the country have used to lock up thousands of deals. So head on over to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script, and that is my free gift to you. All right. So today's episode was actually inspired by one of my private clients, super successful, has made a lot of money, wanted to take his business to the next level. And I got this email, and I got to tell you, it just made my day because it's going to resonate with you no matter what stage of business that you're in, whether you're trying to scratch and claw to get that first check, or if you're trying to get to that next level in business, say you're trying to hire a team and expand and work less hours and make more money at the same time, right? That's like the goal that everyone is trying to get to. And this is for you. So I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to read off my response step by step. I know that you can use this, and I know it's going to help you grow. So here it goes. Todd, on our last call, I mentioned to you that we had a deal come in last week, but due to the fact that we didn't have multiple buyers in the area, I sort of chickened out on listing and marketing it and took the easy road by sending it to our main buyer that happens to buy in that area. We verbally agreed on a price with him like always, and that would have resulted in a $35,000 assignment on a house in a city we have never bought in. I was waiting for clear title to send the assignment to maintain control. I got that info and sent the assignment package yesterday. This buyer informed us that their new company policy was, although they had no problem with the price that I quoted him, they would not continue to pay assignment fees larger than their own anticipated profit. Okay, I'll repeat that. The company did not want to pay an assignment fee larger than their anticipated profit. In this case, their anticipated profit was $25,000. After some discussion with their acquisition guy, I reluctantly agreed to double close after he said a double close would work. I sent over the purchase agreement today, subject to our closing with our seller. I guess his boss sniffed it out for my guy, and basically the boss killed the deal because it still didn't fall within their parameters. This is our quote unquote best buyer, and the same company that paid us wholesale fees over $40,000 multiple times last year. Long story short, we said no, despite a lot of fear, and we're listing this property auction style in 2 weeks. I don't want to depend on one or two buyers. This was a hard decision. The fear in me desperately wanted to take the $25,000 fee that he could do next week because we could really use the cash flow. I didn't completely burn the bridge, but definitely didn't yield and saw this as an opportunity to grow. I'm just sending this to you, hoping for some feedback and maybe some encouragement. That was the only deal that was going to close this month at this point. We may be operating in our reserves due to that decision, but I feel this is why we have reserves. We do have 3 deals that should close in the first half of April for hopefully a lot more than expected with the old methods. I plan to list all 3. Thanks for your coaching. We are all in. Oh, man, I loved it. So let me tell you my emotions as I was, reading this. So I'm reading this email, and the first part of it, I'm like, oh, man, he is going to cave. And I'll give you a little background information here. One of the things that I always tell our listeners to have courage in is not to have 1 or 2 buyers, right? You want to have a very, very thick buyers list. You want people to compete, or you want to list it on the MLS. That's very, very, very important. Okay, so I'll address that here towards the end, but I want to talk about the emotion here and the learning, because there's a huge, huge, huge lesson. You see the wave of emotions where he's, he goes and he's excited and he's going to, sell the property for a lot. And all of a sudden he starts to go back and shrink to his old self, right? Was going to take that low profit, stay in his comfort zone. But then the last second, okay, he blasts through fear so that he can grow. All right. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about a little bit when you go through this is something that I learned from one of my mentors, Dan Sullivan. And he says, anytime you're trying to grow, you want to make more money, you want to learn a new capability, you want to do something that you've never done, you have to go through the 4 C's. So what are the 4 C's? The 4 C's are commitment, courage, capability, and confidence. Okay, now the commitment is what my private coaching student here did, right? He was committed to not work with 1 or 2 cash buyers. He was going to send the property out to bid. He was going to expand. He's going to put it on the MLS so we can get even more buyers, right? He said, I'm going to do it. I'm excited. Yes, I understand. I want to make this happen, right? And I tell you what, a lot of us do that, right? We make the New Year's resolution to start a business or hire an employee or lose a bunch of weight or whatever that would be, right? The real tough part is number 2, and that's courage, right? Because all of a sudden we get into it, right? Or maybe we say we're going to skydive. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not sure I want to do this. I'm not sure I want to jump out of the plane. I'm not sure I want to ask for the assignment fee. I'm not sure that I want to tell my old cash buyers who I've been selling to for a discount, okay, that now they have to compete because I'm scared of the friction, right? I'm scared of I want to hire a team member, but I'm scared now to pay the salary. I want to increase my marketing, but now that it's time to put down the credit card to invest, ooh, okay, now I feel like I want to shrink. Okay, now, the key here is you got to expand. And you got to bust through that fear to get to that next level. The issue is that the third step is capability, right? Capability, it says, okay, now I understand this. I get this. I'm a pro, right? I know how to do it. I know how to talk to people. I know how they're going to react, right? I've seen this all before. And the fourth step is confidence. Now, number 3 and number 4 are the easy part, right? Because once you actually get past that fear part, the courage part, right? Well, then all that stuff automatically happens. The problem is we all want the confidence before the courage, right? We want the confidence before we have the capability, meaning that, we don't know how to do it, right? We're scared and we want to stay in our nice, cozy place, right? And why don't people work out hard in the gym, right? Because it's uncomfortable. Why don't we do this thing? Because we're scared. And so what I love about this, right, is that you saw our private client here. He said, you saw that wave of emotions where all of a sudden he was going to go back in his comfort zone and sell for a $25,000 profit, but he wanted more. So we had this moment where he said, nope, I'm not going to shrink. I'm going to say no. I'm going to hold on to this property a little bit more. I'm going to send it out to bid, and now I'm going to make more money. Now, all that fear could have gotten in his head, right? Oh, well, the cash is getting a little low, and I haven't closed anything this month, and maybe I'm going to have to go in a little bit of my reserves. But that's good. That's good. I can tell you, sometimes haste makes waste. When you rush too much, when you are running around like a chicken trying to get the fastest cash possible, you're often going to find that you're going to leave a lot of money on the table. Your business is going to suffer, okay? And you are going to suffer. So I'm going to read those 4 C's again. That's commitment, courage, capability, and confidence, right? The commitment's pretty easy. Courage is the challenging part, right? The capability is going to come when obviously you do this thing, whatever you're trying to do. You're selling to more different, better cash buyers, right? Maybe you're trying to do bigger deals. Maybe you're trying to hire a new team member. Maybe you're going to a new market. Maybe you're going to buy your first commercial property. Whatever it is, you got to get past that courage phase, all right? Of course, you're going to learn how to do it. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have the confidence. So what do you do when you have all 4 of those? Well, guess what? Now you got to do it again and again and again. And you got to keep on growing. If you ever notice, if you ever get stuck someplace, you're growing, you're stagnant, it's because you probably are not willing to get out of your comfort zone, right? You're nice and cozy underneath that warm blanket. So One of the things I'm going to tell you is that a little trick when you feel like you are going back to default is notice the 4 C's, right? So, you know what? Am I going back to default? Reset yourself, get your mind clear, and say, okay, no, I'm going to make this jump, right? And when I do it, I'm going to grow. So let's talk specifically in this case. I always talk about having a bigger, better buyers list. And so in this case, our private coaching client, he's going to list on the MLS for his property instead of selling to 1 or 2 cash buyers. And by the way, what I'm talking about is when you lock a property under contract and now you have a great deal and now it's time to resell this property, right? Either you bought it or you're going to assign the contract or do a concurrent close. That's when you buy it and you're going to immediately resell it to somebody else, right? You want to create that competition, okay? The other part about this is that you also do want a big buyers list on top of listing on the MLS. Sometimes you can't list a property on the MLS because the seller won't let you. And when I say won't let you, they've specifically seen that in the contract. For us, that's only about 1 out of every 10 people. But still, we want that backup. Okay, so very, very important. I love that our private coaching client had this wake-up call, because if you find that your cash buyers, you see here, right, where all of a sudden this cash buyer says, you know what, this deal, it's worth $45,000 profit, right? We would pay that price, but we're not paying assignment fees where you are going to make more than us, right? They basically decided that they're going to dictate how he was going to run his business. I don't think so. Not if you're a client of mine and not if you're a listener of this podcast. Hopefully, by the way, if you are interested in private one-on-one coaching, I am partnering with some students. So check out nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/coaching, nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/coaching. So go ahead and check that. All right. The last part I'm going to talk about is when you're going to grow and you're going to get out of your comfort zone, you are going to piss some people off, right? Some people do not like the fact that they're not getting as great of a deal as they were before. I could relate to that. Maybe they don't like the fact that you're growing and they're not, right? You growing is like a reflection in the mirror. What I'd like you to do, though, is even if you grow, you may outgrow some relationships. Keep those relationships. What I mean by that is just because you can't do business with someone the way that you did before, that relationship may migrate, right? Maybe they're going to move away from you for a while, or maybe you can't do business with them for a while, but be respectful, be friendly, see how you could give another way. Maybe you could morph that relationship. But in this case, okay, hopefully our client here is going to make way more than $25,000. The short-term cash flow that he was going to give up, that delayed gratification, is going to be way, way, way better, okay, than taking that fast paycheck. And the great thing about that is that he's going to grow. He's going to know how to sell to multiple buyers, create that bidding situations, get away from those 1 or 2 really great buyers. And then when it's time to grow, right, he's going to have to go through that same 4-stage: commitment, courage, capability, and confidence. By the way, Dan Sullivan does a great video on this. If you go to our website, nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com, I'll actually link to a special video that Dan does on this very, very, very topic. Don't forget to head on over to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script and download that script. It's my free gift to you, and I will talk to you on the next episode.